Hello, welcome beautiful souls. My name is Sadhana. Welcome to my channel for those of you that may be new here. I am on today doing live readings for your year ahead card. And I've said this a couple times already, but this really is the medicine of right now for you so that you know how to step into your next year with more ease and more grace. And the particular card that we're looking at for this reading is Justice. Justice. So the number 11 card. This is a great reading to also check in if you have a lot of Libra in your chart. Okay, so we have a jumper for this one. This is the Suit of Pentacles down here. This is the Oracle deck, the Druid Plant Oracle that I have chosen to complement this suit. And I just have two more decks to shuffle here. And as a justice year, there is, well, there's, on so many levels, very superficially, a lot of wrongs could be righted, or your awareness. Now, the thing is that sometimes our egoic minds tend to not necessarily want the medicine that is good for us. The old adage, we get what we deserve and not necessarily what we want. So it's really important also to be careful what you wish for. I will be sharing with you a little bit from the Earth Flesh Guidebook for the Bone Stone Tarot for this one. This is not a card that has come up frequently in readings when I've been working with this deck. So I want to just get a little bit from the creatrix herself. For me, this is a card of karma. And I know in a lot of decks it's also called karma. Hi, Jen. Hello again. Two jumper cards that shuffle one more time. So yeah, and then with each of these cards, I'm trying to think about like justice in a 5-year. It almost feels like, okay, so think about justice in a 5-year. If I think to the Hierophant energy and justice, I feel, yeah, it almost feels like the Hierophant as a judge. The Hierophant will determine what is right and what is wrong, based on doctrine. So in that sense, it has a real kind of legal slant to it. So I'm kind of intrigued about what is going to arise for you with this. I don't know. Let me know if any of you out there in Tarot Tube Land have some feelings about that. Now, the plant card that came up is one of the cards that has multiple plants on it. And this one is called the Restorers. So these are cards of healing. And so if this card is any indication of what is about to arise in the other cards, it feels like maybe it's time to step back. It might be time to step back. This might actually be kind of like a 4 of Swords energy for you this year. I'm going to shuffle the Fantastic Being deck. Yeah, so if this is your cycle for this year with justice, and when I say that, I'm thinking, okay, so is there a significant amount of grief? Have you been processing grief? What were your losses in 2020? Because the Restorers wants to be here for you, wants you to reach to the plant medicine for that. So your card is Lava Star. Interesting. Okay. So I'll show you the artwork first, and then I'm going to go to this. These cards have been very revealing. The keyword is activate. Hello, Scarlett. Welcome. All right. Lava star is the sun, but it is illuminating and bright when we open the window and allow light in, like renaming the moon, silent stone, or our earth, verdant orb. Opportunity abounds and tradition fades away, which would otherwise serve to limit you. Tradition fades away, which would otherwise serve to limit you when we drop the old storylines and erase the boxes. Step into your life. Activate your mind. Let the colors collide. Let the lines warp, bend, and break. Rethink those tired definitions and consider who wrote them and why. Rename things. Give new meanings a try. So based on what I'm reading here, it may feel a little restrictive in the energy of the Hierophant. So where should we go from that? Well, let's see what's up here in the swords. That's the 9. That's the 9. Okay, community card again. All right, I want to go to a couple of comments from Avalon for the Justice card. This is interesting. The warrior, I can't even say that. The warrior and the veiled one are forever at each other's side. The gods breathed life into these otherworldly creatures eons ago to ensure the world of man was well guarded. The warrior and the veiled one stand as a unified symbol of choice. When situations arise that call for justice, the warrior and the veiled one present themselves. They offer a choice: fight or embrace peace. If the choice is to fight, the might of the warrior is unleashed and hell rains down on the world of man. If it's peace that's chosen, the olive branch is extended to the man who must accept this sacred offering. Once accepted, the warrior and the veiled one retreat to the divine realm in wait of their next call. When justice appears in your reading, it is called into question the subject of sacred balance. It speaks of the necessity to make important decisions that cannot be put off any longer. Are you being fair with yourself as you are with others? If not, now is the time to remedy this. The decision to use your warrior aspect or your peace bringer aspect is yours to make. I mean, this is a very fiery card over here. This is a very fiery card. This is telling you to take a pill, right? To calm down and relax. Wow. Okay. So, you know, having the 6 of Wands here would indicate that things will be moving in your favor. But I think it's about your approach. It's about your approach. And why is the 9 of Swords next to the community card? What is it about being in community that is causing this internal noise? I feel so much noise in this. So let's just think about what that noise might be. Let's see what's under the noise. What is under the noise? Okay. Well, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that well, I'm going to come back and what I read here, because that speaks to this as well too. But you have been running out of patience, or, almost like, I mean, it can go either way. You're either avoiding dealing with it, like you'd rather get distracted and go in the grass and collect bugs than deal with what you're supposed to deal with. And then at the back of your mind, you've got this scary wild cat screaming at you every night when you go to bed because you haven't done what you're supposed to do. And so, sometimes we think that justice is an external thing, but it feels like this is about you taking action to remedy this justice. And whether this justice is something internal or you see it externally, it's the same thing, whether it's internal or external. It just depends on your perspective and which storyline you're following. But you got to do something about it. And I'm going to go back and just reread this so it sinks in loud. And was it in here or was it in the Avalon book? So the sun is activating the inner warrior. The Six of Wands is telling you that you are going to be able to do this, but the next step is to activate the inner warrior. Just let me grab that message one more time, because that was pretty, I need to repeat that so you hear this. Yeah, it's not complicated. It speaks of the necessity to make important decisions that cannot be put off any longer. It's up to you to remedy this. The decision is whether you're going to use your warrior self or your peacemaking self. So from what's going on here, I don't know, right? Here's your peacemaker, here's your warrior, I don't know, I'm kind of leaning to the warrior, but we'll see what else happens here. Look at this, chaos. Chaos reigns. Why is chaos reigning? And how can you move through this chaos so that this issue can be resolved? And I would say that the first step is naming this issue, right? So to say that this is the Five of Cups. Sorry, this is the Five of Cups, the elephant graveyard. What is it in your past? What is it that's come up in your recent past that is okay. Something has triggered you, perhaps in community. This is the only card with other people in it. So I want to say that perhaps the root of this internal chaos, the moving forward, the next step, what it is that you have to release emotionally, has to do with an event, or it has to do with something that was triggered in the community. And you're going to have to figure out, what part of your community, because community is a pretty general word. Okay, let's go to the plant medicine, and then we'll go back and just kind of regroup. Okay, so we're looking to calm, retreat, and balance. So these two cards are pretty clear. And then we have this connection over here. The restorers are a trio of ancient indigenous plants of the Druid source lands, which acts to restore the balance between body and soul, healing the heart and mind with their calming and strengthening powers. So, without going into too much detail, so what I'm seeing here is that we have the balance, the restoration of balance being repeated in the plant medicine. This is telling you that it is, definitely time to act. And so it's really your choice whether you want to, continue to be in this chaos. But I would say there's some very specific action steps here for you. And the elephant, right, is this emotional release. Is this about death? Is this about a death in the community? I just really want you to reflect on, what this source. So those of you that have listened to me before, you've heard me say this. So our story is just a way of spirit helping us to understand the big picture, right? So not to get too attached to the event itself, but just use the story as the medicine. So let me just check in with you guys and see if there's anything that injustice was triggered in the community. And so for those of you that have this card and are working to resolve justice this year, just recognize that. So this tells me that you have the power within you to resolve this, but perhaps, your tendency is to be in the mind, and to avoid. Your tendency is to avoid dealing with it. So notice how this page, his back is to justice. The elephant's back is to justice. And so for, I'm just going to say this year, you got to do something about it. You got to get off your sofa and do something about it. It's up to you. You're not going to be able to calm your mind. You're not going to be able to move forward until you do something about this. And you've got really strong cards here in the action department. So I would not worry that you are fully capable of doing this. Yeah, I get that, my voice. So it's really interesting for the people who have this 11 card this year to kind of reflect on, which action steps you're going to take to move forward. So again, journal, take a screenshot, choose the card that's speaking to you the loudest, or the two, a couple of cards. Sometimes when you have so many pictures staring at you, it can be overwhelming, but and then go to the ones that are connected, the ones that connect and speak together, and look at who's paying attention and who's not paying attention. Yeah, it's all really important. I'll give you one more little bit of plant medicine before I leave you. I just love this book. I think this is my favorite plant oracle. Although adventure and excitement are necessary ingredients in life, we also need periods of peace and calm, oasis in our busy life. Drawing this card in a reading may mean that you should create such a time for yourself now. Retreats are an important part of a spiritual practice, and in Druidry, these can include visiting the old sacred sites and walking the old tracks. But wherever you are, you can take retreat. Even if you are busy, see if you can withdraw from your schedule for 3 hours, during which time no one disturbs you. So, this is a really balanced reading. You've got card of balance, reinforcing. Yeah, it's kind of perfect, but you mustn't avoid. You mustn't avoid what is arisen, and part of your, I don't know if it's your responsibility, but if you want to move through this, you are going to have to act on it. So yeah. So thank you. If you need clarification, write something in the comments below and I will get back to you over the next few days. Okay? Thanks. Namaste, and I'll see you soon. Happy New Year too.